Where are my trousers? Okay, cast your mind back a little. Do you remember when I told you about the capital list? The one where we had an email that sent automatically if there were any changes. Well, this next one began with that. Now, I like to keep in touch with my team, and sometimes I sit in the same office with them, but I would prefer not to. I find it's easier to have my own office as it avoids having to find somewhere to go if you need to have a meeting or a private discussion. Just close the door and you're there. Where was I? Anyway, so yes, I like to keep in touch with my team. Now, I will normally have chats with each member of my team every day, but I also like to get us all in a room at least once every week or two routinely. But if something good has happened or we have an urgent problem to solve, we do it as often as possible. So it was on just such an occasion when I asked Nigel to talk the team through the capital list process, the auto emailing one. Now this serves two purposes. It puts Nigel in the limelight to showcase his achievements, and it also puts some new information in the team brain, and that could be just the catalyst that someone needs to join some dots together. And this is what I mean about creativity. Okay, so Eve said that she'd had a guy on the phone this morning asking where his trousers were. Seriously. In process terms, he had raised a requisition for some new work trousers. It was approved by his line manager and a purchase order had been raised, but that was a week ago and he still hadn't received his trousers. It makes you wonder what the guy was walking around in. Anyway, something was not working as it should. I asked Eve how that could happen, and she explained that the system batched orders and an email routine sent them 4 times a day. Sometimes a couple may be missed, so she would have to intervene manually and email those orders individually. I asked how she did that, and she proceeded to tell me and the group 4 times a day she would receive a system email listing the orders that had been sent successfully. Cool. Then 4 times a day she would copy those order numbers into her spreadsheet. She would open the file containing all the purchase orders that should have been sent. She entered all the new numbers from that file into her spreadsheet to check that the orders in the folder had a corresponding entry from the successfully sent email. If so, great. If not, they're the ones that she has to resend manually. Simple. Now, one of my favourite quotes is by William Blake, and William Blake said, "A man's desires are limited by his perceptions. He cannot desire what he has not yet perceived." And that was the case here. This is how Eve applied her creativity. She noted that it was possible to automatically have Excel send an email from Outlook based on a test, something she didn't know before. New information. Now she used that information to come up with an interesting question. If you can make code write an email, can you make it read one? She asked. Now she thought of something that I had never even considered in all the years that I've been doing this. She joined together some dots that I have never seen. I have written dozens of auto email routines based on data in spreadsheets over the years, but I've never come across a problem that would need to do the reverse, to read an email and then do something. Now I had a question. Are the system generated emails all the same except for the order numbers? That is there something common I can look for in them all? Now the thing with coding is that if you can apply a set of rules, you can code it. Even multiple rules you can code. But if it came to deciphering an email from a human and interpreting that, the rules of grammar, expression, terminology, it would just be too complicated for the benefit that we could gain. She said they were. I don't know, I told her, but I would find out. So I googled around a bit and I found that it could be done. I sat with Eve and we worked out what those rules were. We scan the inbox for emails with a specific title from a specific sender, the system email. If none were found, the code ended. If we found such an email, we would read the text and we would copy everything between the words "were successfully sent" and before the words "this email was generated by," and that's in between there was where the order numbers lived. We would open the Excel file automatically, go to the correct sheet, go to the end of the range in column A and paste our order numbers in there. We would get the order numbers from the order folder if they didn't appear in column B already. That is, everything that is new. Now for each order number in column B, we would check for a match in column A, the successfully sent orders. If matched, move to the next. If not, highlight that cell in column B because that is what we need to action. Repeat until the end. Okay, so once the code had been added, that process executed in under 4 seconds. Now doing it manually took 20 minutes, and remember that was 4 times a day. So that's almost an hour and 20 minutes freed to do even more creative things. Now a week later, Eve presented this innovation to the team, and a frenzy of other things that we could automate ensued. Now I love it when people get excited. Now part of Eve's role was to train the wider business in the use of our system, something she struggled to find the time to do successfully in the last year or so. But as this process was now automated, she can now do this with having to get back and check if orders had been sent successfully. At last, we were delivering on our training promise. Okay, I'll see you in the next lecture.